All right, good morning, y'all. I thought I was going to have Bonehead in this video, but he decided to vacate before things got started. All right, full slate of games, and so anyway, yeah. Okay, so the games got more interesting as night went on. The early games, they were games, but high drama in the last couple there. All right, so first game, Motor City taking on Binghamton. This was the second time in the span of about a month that the teams have met. And this game a little closer than last time, but still, Binghamton getting a 6-5 win, a 6-3 win, excuse me. All right, 4,200 on hand, and they get to see Don Olivieri get himself a hattie. First goal was at 7:01 to the first. There's a goal in between. Binghamton that gets awarded to three different people. Finally, they settle on Josh Fletcher, and that was just 22 seconds later. TJ Delaney scores in a shorthanded situation, 12:01, but immediately after that, it's Olivieri with his second on the power play, same penalty. Second period, Andrew Gogar scores in the power play. So two goals on the power play by Binghamton. Olivieri scores his hat trick at 5:22 of the third period. We had a power play goal by Josh Colton, who scored the only goal the last time Motor City was in Binghamton. And then Connor Smith puts an exclamation point on the game. But right at the very end, it was good to see Eric Oganezov get on the board. That's his first goal in about a year, from what I understand. So that made the final 6-3. Kind of proceedings things, but for the game, Motor City 28 shots on Connor McAnanima. Trevor Babin much busier, faced 45. Binghamton sustained a lot of pressure in the offensive zone. Josh Colton, a goal and an assist. TJ Delaney, also a goal and assist. Motor City, I made a comment yesterday during the game. Motor City is a much different team with Nicholas McGill Diaz in the lineup, just in the defensive zone. Of course, he's with Birmingham right now. So, yeah. Babin stops 39. I'd say you really can't fault him for 5 of the goals, but nonetheless, Olivieri with the hat trick. Dan Weber, defensive man, he really doesn't get on the score sheet much, but he had 2 assists last night. And McAnanima with the 25 saves. So Motor City now 17-11, and for hanging on to that second place spot, they go to play Watertown tonight and tomorrow. Binghamton moves to 23-3-6. All right, in Michigan, Elmira travels to Port Huron. Of course, these two teams played last week in Elmira, and Port Huron dominated. This time, Elmira returned the favor. And after an early goal by Austin Federley to put the Prowlers up 1-0, it was all Elmira from there on out. Not the best of nights for Tucker Tynan. Meanwhile, Sammy Bernard had himself a fantastic night. But with the game, after that goal by Austin Federley, just 56 seconds later, the River Sharks counter, and it's a goal by former Prowler, Larry Vartiainen. Minute later, Marquise Grant-Mentis, who just signed with Elmira yesterday, he gets on the score sheet. 14:57, it's Brett Parker. And so at this point, you could just see the flow of the game. The ice just tilted big time. Elmira scored in the second, Darius Davidson. And at that point, also, Elmira had control, just dominating play in the first period. The second period, Port Huron got more shots on goal, but Elmira still um, took care of keeping Port Huron to the outside. Elmira really played well in the second period. Right at the end of the game, towards the end of the game, Tynan gets pulled, and Kyle Powell from 185 feet away sees an empty net. Bam. And so he scores, and that makes our final 5-1 Elmira. So Elmira now improving to 10-21. Port Huron falls to 16-13-4. Still in third place, but barely. Federally with that goal, Tynan stopped 28. Yeah, it was wrong number given on the Fed site. 28 shots that he saved. I'm sorry, it was 27. Sorry, I made a note here. 27 because the one was an empty netter. Sam Bernard stops 46 of 47 shots. Even when Port Huron started trying to generate more offensive chances in the third period, he barred the door, had himself obviously his best game of the year. And so there you go. Crowd 1,229 on hand in Port Huron. All right, we have the battle of the two expansion teams going on in Blue Ridge. And this was kind of a surprise in that the game was as lopsided as it was. In the first two periods, we saw what I mentioned on yesterday's preview. Blue Ridge just playing fantastic in their defensive zone. So it's the Blue Ridge Bobcats winning 6-2 at home over the Baton Rouge Zydeco. Blue Ridge gets out to a 5-0 lead. Daniel Martin scores. Then Garrett Lindbergh, fresh back from the SP. He scores right at the end of the first. In the second period, Martin adds a power play goal, so he ends up with the 2 goals. Cody Oakes, he gets on the sheet at 11:42. And at 16:25, it's Jacob Wolf. And so, yeah, at this point, Blue Ridge is just dominating the game. Tyler Larwood finally gets Zydeco on the board at 16:47. And then 8 seconds left. Andrei Ivanov for the Bobcats. He puts one home. It's 6-1 at this point. At this juncture of the game, the shots were 38-18. In the third period, Baton Rouge finally just started taking shots, getting some pucks on Connor Green, but by then it was too late. Noah Robinson was the only one that was able to find the back of the net at 12:30, and you have a 6-2 final. Greg Harney, Greg Harney, oh my goodness. I wrote that too. Greg Hussey. I don't know where Greg Harney is right now. Anyway, Greg Hussey, he stops 42 of 48. Connor Green, 38 saves on the night. Obviously, Martin had those 2 goals, and Ivanov had a goal and 2 assists as well. So, Blue Ridge, they pull a little bit farther ahead from Baton Rouge. It's now a 4-point difference, but don't forget, these two teams play the next 2 nights. Blue Ridge now 8-18-5. Baton Rouge 7-19-3. Almost 1,100 fans on hand at Blue Ridge, and it's good to see that Blue Ridge is now consistently drawing over 1,000 fans per game. So obviously the community is getting plugged into what's going on at the Apex Center, which is a good thing. All right, battle of rematch from last year's Commissioner's Cup. Danbury travels down to Carolina. Thunderbirds escaping with a 3-2 win. There was some debate on this. First period, Zach Pamelayan scores, puts Danbury up 1-0, getting the puck by Cody Karpinski. Second period, there was no scoring. Well, everybody thought Danbury had scored. However, on the play, there was a high stick by Nick DiNicola, and that negated the goal as it was seen as a continuous play. So the referees washed out the goal, and so there you go. In the third period, Columbus. Oh my goodness, Carolina finds their footing, and it's Josh Keplinger scoring, and I watched this third period, and it really seemed like Keplinger just willed himself to take it to the next level and dominate the game. So Keplinger gets the score tied up. Jared Yao, he scores for Danbury, and so now it's 2-1 Danbury. Jan Salak, he gets one. He gets a goal at 17:57. So late we get tied up, and even in the last like 5 minutes, Keplinger's just getting shot after shot after shot on Liam Murray, who, by the way, Murray, he played a fantastic game. Yeah, unfortunately, was not able to come up with a win, but what a performance! One of two great goalie performances that I thought, the losing team ended up with a better goalie performance. But anyway, uh, in overtime, Keplinger, he just takes total control of the play, and he scores, and that's at 141, giving Carolina the win. Murray on the night, 49 saves on 52 shots. Meanwhile, Cody Kopinski, he gets the win, 24 saves. Keplinger with those 2 goals. Stoiveski for Danbury, he had 2 assists for the night. So anyway, Danbury now 17, 12, and 3, but they gain 1 point on the Motor City Rockers. Carolina gets 2 points on the night. They are now 22, 8, and 1. So that was the first really exciting game. And then we went to Columbus. And I honestly did not see much of this until the third period. And wow. First of all, nothing happened in the first period. No scoring, no penalties. And then the referees got I don't know if they were simulating smoking or whatever, but the whistle was just constantly going off. 19 minors called in this game. That's too much. Meanwhile, as the players go in and out of the penalty box, the puck's going in of the nets. Columbus, it's Alex Storjahan at 14 seconds. Joakim Nilsson answers 36 seconds. It's 1-1. Pietrantonio, he scores a 4:02 on the power play. All right, 5:47. Matt Stoia scores. It's 2-2. Kyle Russell scores 12:10 into the second. So now Mississippi's up. Jemayev scores on the power play a minute and a half later. It's 3-3. Ryan Hunter adds a goal at 19:21. We've got 7 goals in 1 period after having nothing in the first. So it's 4-3 Columbus going into the third period, and the bell and the red light just kept lighting up. It's Coast scoring in the power play. Mississippi ties it up again. Columbus surges ahead briefly. It's goals by Cody Wickline and Kyle Moore. And then late in the third, Liarakos scores on a power play, and Matt Stoia scores again. Stoia had, what a game he had. So yeah, we've got 6-6 now. Meanwhile, the goaltenders are just getting pummeled, but then they're making fantastic saves, especially Blake Wayrick. Tom Callahan, the voice of the River Dragons, gave mention of just how fantastic Wayrick was, and you wouldn't think so. 5 goals. Deloisio was briefly in the game for 11 minutes. He surrendered one of the goals, but Wayrick, what a performance. So we go to overtime. It's back and forth. Fantastic saves on both ends. Finally, Justin McDonald puts the game winner home at 3:27 in overtime. And I thought Waywork was going to save that one too. So there you go, 7-6 overtime win before 3,100 fans at Columbus. What a game! Matt Stoia, 2 goals, 3 assists. Liarakos, a goal, 4 assists. Hugo Koepp, a goal and 3 assists. Weyrich with the 31 saves played better than the numbers would tell you. J Mac, he gets the game-winning goal with 2 assists, as well as Kyle Morey continues his hot streak, a goal and 2 assists. Colgan gets the win, stopping 29 of 35 in his return, and we are out of time. All right, come back tomorrow. We'll see if the games are just as exciting tomorrow as they were today.